Ladies and gents, if it's okay, I'm going to ask you to participate. Is that okay? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Some of you were like, yes. I'd like to participate. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Yes. Nice high hands, please. Yes. Okay, because the more energy we put into this presentation, the more we're going to get out of it. My promise today is to give you something completely revolutionary, something that will change your life if you allow it to. Would we like that? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Okay, there's one or two people who are still skeptical. Very good, because we like people who challenge the status quo, certainly when it comes to new ideas, fresh thinking, stuff that changes the world. And today I want to share a little bit of a personal story to set the context. My parents have always said to me that you need to be able to believe in yourself. When my mom would have the conversation with me before I'd gone to the football pitch as an 8-year-old, she would say, "Billal, kick him." She didn't know the rules. And the problem is, neither did I. So we'd end up committing a couple of fouls on the pitch. But the point was, she always asked me the question before I went out into the sporting arena or in the classroom or wherever it was, that you need to make sure you believe in yourself. And if not, why not? And it's interesting because as the 8-year-old Billal, as I've pointed to earlier on, was somebody who was very, very passionate about football. In fact, every lunchtime, I'd be on that football pitch running around in the classroom, and all I could think about was a strategy. How are we going to win this game? Beatons versus Arders, and we need to win. And Billal needs to make sure that he gets that goal in. And I remember one particular morning in summer, I could smell the freshly cut grass, that summer breeze coming through the windows. And as my teacher said, "Right, if you can concentrate, please. We have a geography lesson. We're going to watch the street kids of India and how you are so fortunate." In my mind, all I wanted to know was, is 4-4-2 going to work, or is it going to be 3-4-3? We're talking about football formations here. There's only 6 of us on the side. But at that point, I simply didn't care. And whilst watching this film, the camera pans across and the narration says something like, "And there we have it in the slums. There's little Rahul with his brother Ranjiv." And at that moment, all the kids in the class do this. And I also do this. But there's no one behind me. They're looking at me. And I'm looking at them. And they're looking at me. And I'm now embarrassed. And now I'm redder than the TEDx. And in fact, that memory, as much as today might feel a bit uncomfortable, was something that was happening again and again and again in my childhood. I want you to imagine for a second moments of embarrassment, moments where the focus, all eyes are on you, and you're feeling like, hang on a minute, just because Rahul and Ranjiv are the same color as me, you're now staring at me. And I want you to imagine, put yourself in that space. Because by that very definition, I shouldn't be on this stage. I shouldn't be comfortable even speaking to all these eyes looking down at me. Does that make sense? Because confidence, if based on the experience of the past, can limit you massively. And in fact, there were many moments in my childhood where experiences like this repeated again and again and again. So here's what I want to share with you today. What's the relevance of that story? What's the relevance to do with Billal today? Because today I train thousands of people around the country in finding confidence in one of the hardest spaces on earth, and that's the stage. But the lessons I've picked up aren't just out of a book or a video or some theory. They're lessons that I've learned from practical experience. Because confidence, ladies and gents, is the new currency. Think about it this way. The job applications that you have to put forward will almost always ask people to demonstrate confidence. Demonstrate confidence in interviews. Demonstrate confidence when you're conducting a business, a transaction, a sale. Demonstrate confidence when you're going for that beautiful boy or that beautiful girl. Demonstrate confidence when you're trying to establish yourself as an authority, as a leader. We're constantly having to demonstrate and prove that we're confident. But here's the problem. If we haven't been there before, how can we do it in the future? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to do something right now to prove this point. I'd like this side of the room over here to simply shout out nice and loud, I believe in myself. I want you to do that right now. 3, 2, 1.
I believe in myself.
I believe in myself. This side of the room, what I want you to do is I want you to look to the person next to you and I want you to look them straight in the eye and say, I believe in you. I would like you to do that right now. Look at the person next to you. 3, 2, 1, off you go.
I believe in you.
Now for the purpose of the video, thank you very much. They're still going. They're smiling and they're a bit more engaged. It's interesting, that experiment, because I just have a hunch that this side of the room, and you may argue there's more people, I'm going to argue that there's a little bit more belief. And it was interesting, we can believe in ourselves more than we believe in others. Believe in others more than we believe in ourselves, sorry. And I'm not going to ask you guys on this side of the room, just simply to shout out, I believe in me, believe in yourself. Off you go, 3, 2, 1.
I believe in me.
You can again hear the volume was louder. And now that's interesting. Now that's really interesting, and it points to something that we experienced at Public Speaking Academy when we would have people in seminars and we were asking them to speak for the first time. They'd never been on stage before, they'd never spoken to a crowd before, they were phobic, they were terrified. There were people who were literally terrified of being in a space, yet they were learning in an audience like this, having to face an audience, face their fear head on. Can you imagine that? And I remember when we started the business, when we started the consulting business, we would constantly try to innovate. We'd try new ideas. Take a deep breath. Visualize yourself. Try to slow your pace down. And each time people would say, shut up. Until one day there's a particular individual, she was absolutely terrified. And she says, Billal, flip it. I'm just going to speak about what I believe in. And my cause is greater than my voice. And I stopped and I let her do what she had to do. And I remember her walking on stage and her sharing her message with so much conviction, so much power, so much passion that something dropped within me. Yes, I was applauding, but at the same time, in my mind, a penny had dropped. I realized that that particular woman had overcome her fear because her passion was greater than her doubt. Her purpose was greater than her fear. Her mission was greater than herself. She was working from a greater purpose. And as she walked onto that stage for her final talk, she looked at the person that she was coaching with, one of the coachee clients, one of her peers, one of the other delegates, and she looks at her and says, I believe in you. And that person looked back and said, I believe in you too. And because she was that kind of flippant person, she goes, you know what, if you believe in me and I believe in you, I believe in me too. And they had a bit of a chuckle. But again, I noticed something else. That when we're in a space of possibility, when we're in a space of belief, when we're in a space where we're actually working beyond ourselves with a team, we start to create a space of belief, of possibility. And that's really interesting. Because she went onto that stage and she absolutely flourished. So I want to do something right now. I want to try an experiment right now, and I want to prove this concept. I would like everyone to stand up, please, if you'd like to all stand up. You're a good-looking audience, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Give yourselves a round of applause. If you're thinking, yes, if you think you're good-looking, give me a cheer. Why are some people like this? Yes. If you're good-looking, give me a cheer. Yes. It's interesting, is it? We're kind of having fun, but we notice the belief is starting to increase slowly. You're going to take this to the nth degree. We've only got a couple of minutes, but I'm going to ask you to play full out. Do we want to play full out? Yes or no, guys? Yes. Yes or no, guys? Yes. Okay, now we're getting closer, because what I'm going to ask you to do is this. I would like you to look to the person next to you, and I would like to just one sentence. I am passionate about. It can be anything. It can be, I am passionate about ladies' shoes. I happen to be passionate about no. But the thing is, I would like you to actually have a bit of fun. I'd like you to look to that person right in the eye and say, I am passionate about X, Y, Z. Does that make sense? Yes? Yes. Okay, look at the person next to you and deliver your passion. Off you go. Okay, I would like you now to be able to add this next sentence. I'm passionate about X, Y, Z, and then look them straight in the eye, say, I believe in you, and therefore I believe in me. Try that. 3, 2, 1, off you go. Give them a high five, give them a kiss, give them a round of applause for each other. Have a seat. Have a seat, ladies and gents. And just by a show of hands, who feels more connected with the person next to them? Just by a show of hands, nice and high. Yes, just shout out yes. And the others who are not raising their hands say, I really don't care. Okay, 1 or 2 still having their hands up. I shall tell you off later. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just to pause for a second and take your breath back. Because here's what is interesting. Here's what we found, and this is what I believe sincerely, and I want to share with you today. In the next couple of minutes, I want to give you a toolkit which I believe can change your life. I believe that this concept can change the lives of the people that you serve. It changes the future if you allow it to. You see, the confidence of the past has always been based on what's taken place in the past. It's always been based on your CV. But the world that we live on in the moment, the world we are inhabiting, is the world of Google, the world of Amazon, the world of Facebook, the world of tech. The world that changes so fast that we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. Which means we need a different kind of confidence. We need a confidence that's agile, that's spontaneous, that's impromptu, that you can call upon, because by the time you've acquired a skill, it's become obsolete. Does that make sense? And therefore, the confidence we need is something that you need to be able to create, and instantly. And that's a confidence of belief. You see, when you understand and you believe in the organizations that you work for, that you lead, that you're serving in, when you believe in the people that you are working with, when you start to learn and understand that belief might just be a muscle, that the more you practice it, the more that you occupy yourself, immerse yourself inside of belief, the more you dare to try, the more you start to believe in yourself. And that's exactly what we experienced again and again and again and again. You see, when belief heightens, when belief reaches a crescendo, when belief reaches its peak, you're in a space of possibility, but you're also in a space of action. And that action then starts to reinforce those ideas. That action then starts to create changes that then support that belief. It creates a whole new paradigm. Public speaking was just the vehicle. Public speaking happened to be the test that we put out there. But I believe that if people are able to access more confidence, if they're able to leverage confidence as if it's a state that they can enter, the world begins to change. People who should have spoken start to speak. Ideas that should have been contributed to change the world start to get out there. People start to believe in your product, your service, your idea. They start to believe in you and each other, and we create a better world. So, I want to give you this final thought. Today, you experienced the first step, which was around playing with the idea of belief. I want every single person in this room and those people who continue to hear this message to take one action. Every single day, choose to believe in something that you normally wouldn't. Dare to believe. Be a dreamer, be a visionary. Not just for yourself, but for others. Because whatever we believe about others starts to become true for ourselves. When we start to approach belief as a team sport, when we start to create communities, tribes, people aligned on a mission, we start to create momentum. And momentum, ladies and gents, changes the world. If we know that the future is in confidence, I'm going to tell you right now that you have the choice to make it happen today. Thank you.